given that the radiology report is now instantly available and it like pops up in my chart if an Epic or Message Center with Oracle, for the patients, what opportunity do we potentially see? What's the thoughts around providing a bit more patient-friendly information from these types of data sources?
Well, to me, that there are all kinds of great opportunities, I think, for this because you know, while I think the fact that we have removed information blocking from patients so that they can see everything in their record, including all of their images, we have not made any of that information consumable for them. And if anything, we've made it more frightening because now we inundate them with all this terminology and these pictures that may or may not mean anything. In fact, we've had discussions here internally with our AI governance group. Many AI tools return a AI result and they append it to an imaging study. And when a patient sees it, they don't know what that means. There's disclaimers on the bottom. They don't know what that means. It says this is not for diagnostic purposes only. Oh, by the way, you have a aneurysm. If you were a patient, can you imagine? You're an 83-year-old grandmother. You're like, my God, what does this all mean? So to me, there's huge opportunities to be able to address. This is the same stuff that all the primary care people are focusing on. Can we create good chatbots with enough boundaries, enough guardrails around it so that they can actually act autonomously to actually answer questions for patients in the context of their own studies? So like Stanford developed this thing called RadGPT, which I think is phenomenal. And basically, a patient can upload their report. It will highlight all the keywords and then it will prompt them with questions. Instead of them saying, what does my report mean? It'll say, you have a lumbar disc herniation. Do you want to know what that means? And, and then it asks more detailed questions. If you ask a question, it asks follow-up questions of you. Would you like to know more about this or more about this? But you can see how this would be incredibly comforting to a patient to be able to provide something at their level so that they could get a lot of these questions answered for themselves and so that they don't have to bother the primary care physician or even call the radiologist. And, for us, it's kind of a treat to talk to patients because they don't necessarily talk to us all that often. To me, it's kind of fun to explain the report to the patient, and they're always very grateful to do it. But could you imagine if we could do something like that at scale, where you could even show them or even show them on their pictures here's the abnormality. This is what it really means, and get enough follow-up questions. And then when you reach the guardrail saying, those are the kinds of things you need to talk to your primary care doctor about.